Alright, I'm sick and tired of this whole YouTube layout thing, because ever since it's happening, my webcam screws up. But anyway, I'm going to try to make this as short as possible. Monday Night Raw, guys, tonight. 1000th episode. To me, very enjoyable. I liked it. A little twist at the end that kind of caught me off guard, and I think it caught a lot of people off guard, too. There was some twist overall in the whole entire night. But hey, guys, WWE, 1000th episode of Raw, they were going all out, and you can see it tonight. They really tried. See, WWE, when you don't become lazy, you entertain us. This is what we... obviously, you can't have this every single week, especially now it's 3 hours. But, you try at something, we like it. You don't try, we're either bored or we don't care. So, WWE, thank you for tonight. Seriously, thank you. Thank you for tonight. So anyway, let's start this off. Mr. McMahon comes to the ring, basically thanks the crowd with the whole, Monday Night Raw, being 1000 episodes now, and he introduces DX. So DX music hits, and we get the one and only Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Gotta. And, I'm thinking, okay, I've always been a fan of DX, always have, always will be. And, but it's just like, okay, we always see this, DX reunion, one night only. It's always one night only, I've always noticed that. Triple H and Shawn Michaels, we've seen it over and over again, where's the rest of the crew, The next thing you know, out comes, that's right guys, out comes the New Age Outlaws, Billy Gunn, and the Road Dogg along with Make Some Noise! That's right, X-Pac comes out. And I'm thinking, wow, this is cool. See the band together, as they would call it. And, they're all having a good time, whatnot. They're all talking. And next thing you know, Damien Sandow comes out. And I'm thinking, what the hell? And then freaking DX is like, okay, you just basically called us rude and whatnot, so let's just think of something over. And then Shawn Michaels hits with the sweet chin music, and God hits with the also-powerful pedigree. Guys, it's one night only. Like, seriously, it's the 1000th episode of Monday Night Raw. I know you guys thinking, God buried young talent, Triple H did it again. Letting it go. Okay, so it's the 1000th episode of Raw, guys. So then you got, okay, freaking every Lucha Libre's AAA Mexican wrestling fan's dream. Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara teamed up along with the Celtic Warrior fella, the World Heavyweight Champion, Sheamus, versus the best in the world of what he does. The SmackDown Money in the Bank, I guess you could say, the World Heavyweight Championship Money in the Bank briefcase over Dolph Ziggler and the Mr. Destiny himself, Roberto Del Rio. And, overall, pretty good match. I enjoyed it. Not too shabby. Sheamus has a bro kick on Jericho, 1, 2, 3. Sheamus and Cara and Mysterio win. And I'm thinking to myself, did Mysterio get, kind of bigger or something? When I mean bigger, kind of chunkier or something? Because I'm not calling Rey Mysterio fat. It just seems like whenever, I know it's TNA, WWE, whenever, Superstar wears a t-shirt, the whole entire match is they're not in the best shape. Matt Hardy did it, guys. Seriously. Ugh. So then we get, what else we get? Okay. We get, Charlie Sheen via Skype, I like Charlie Sheen. I know he's controversial and whatnot, but, I find him funny. And then you have this whole backstage segment, right? AJ is right next to Layla, and Layla, hang on. Damn chill time. They're talking and whatnot, and Layla's like, do you really want to go through with this? AJ's like, why do people keep saying this? She opens the door, right? Out comes Hacksaw Jim Duggan walking by. And then you got R-Truth, has a leash with freaking little Jimmy and Roddy Piper. I'm like, what the hell? And then out comes the Hand. He even said, hi, I'm the Hand. I'm all grown up. Mae Young's son. And Mae Young's right there smiling, and I'm thinking, oh my god, they brought back the Hand. Seriously. You'd think WWE would have forgotten that by now, but they didn't. It was kind of funny. And they had some random Sonic waitress coming out delivering smoothies to Cole Lawler. I did not see that one coming. So then, speaking of not seeing coming, Swagger vs. Brodus Clay. And all I'm going to say is this. Rest in peace to Jack Swagger's career. Oh my god. It was 8 seconds long. Brodus Clay obviously won. But I blinked in the match. I was like this. Match is over. I was thinking, yep, that's the end of Jack Swagger. Oh yeah, we also got Dude Love. Do Love came before the match, and this is cool to see, good old Do Love, We've always seen, of course, Mick Foley and whatnot, but we never really seen, Cactus Jack or, Mankind, or in this case, Do Love, come back to the WWE in several years, so it was cool to see. Then you had Trish Stratus. This was funny. Okay, you guys remember the whole classic 2000 segment, in the year 2000 segment with Triple H and Trish Stratus? He's trying to help her position, because Trish by that time has never wrestled in the ring. And, remember Stephanie walked in, she got all pissed and whatnot. Well, same thing here, except for vice versa. Trish Stratus was behind Triple H was in front of her, and then DX walks in, and they're like, oh, rear. Oh my god, that was great. That was like my childhood right there. I was like, oh, thank you, WWE. Okay, so then we get the wedding, alright? Good old Slick comes out, I guess he's the, minister and whatnot, for Daniel Bryan and AJ's wedding. And right when, she says yes, and he's about to put the ring on her, Daniel Bryan, AJ's like, wait, I didn't say yes to that. I said yes to another proposal. Daniel Bryan's freaking out. I was like, what? Who's it this time, And out comes Mr. McMahon. Mr. McMahon's like, don't worry, Daniel, it's not what you think. It's a different proposal, a job proposal. And he says, okay, the new general manager of Raw is AJ. And I'm thinking, what the hell? And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, this girl's definitely getting the biggest push of any diva of, like, all time. Just give her the WWE Championship. I'm kidding, but, like, okay, you're giving her such a huge push. It's like, out of nowhere. But, at least it's a swerve or something a little different. It's not, oh, Roddy Piper, oh, Mick Foley, oh, someone that we probably look at and say, okay, that's kind of predictable. Because in this case, that's not predictable. I mean, AJ, like, seriously. Okay, so then we come back, Bryan's still pissed off in the ring. CM Punk comes out and says, I'm sorry, man, I'm not trying to rub it in your face, but haha, you got stood up at the altar. And The Rock comes back, not via satellite, The Rock comes back. Got a nice good pop there. And basically called Daniel Bryan a troll, Frodo, and Oompa Loompa. I'm not gonna lie, I cracked up laughing. He's still funny. And, he's like, I gave a little wedding present here for you, Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's like, what? And then Rock gives him a rock bottom, and then he says that CM Punk's probably going to kick ass tonight against John Cena for the WWE Championship. Then we get, the guest ring announcer, who was Bret the Hitman Hart. It's cool to see Bret Hart, best there is, best there was, And, so he introduces Christian. He's like, the Intercontinental Champion, Christian. And he's like, The Miz. It's like, yep, we still remember that good old time between The Miz and Bret Hart when Bret Hart beat The Miz for the United States Championship. You guys remember that? Yeah. So, I'm thinking, how is The Miz going to win this one? He's on a cold streak. He just filmed the Marine 3, home front. And then The Miz wins. It was a good match, too, Back and forth, Christian was about to try to hit the kill switch and the spear. It didn't work. Miz got him with the Skull Crusher finale and wins. I'm thinking, okay, I know WWE's been kind of lazy with the whole mid-card division, for championship, IC, and US title. Maybe they can cater now that they have, a superstar who's, been at the top, former WWE champion, The Miz, do something with the IC title. I can see it. And of course, you got freaking Zack Ryder going, woo, 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 I want to challenge you for the IC champion. You know it, bro. Oh, good lord. Okay, so then you have, what else do you have? Sorry. Okay, then you had you had Triple H come out. Yeah, I gotta. And he's like, I want Brock Lesnar to come out and accept my challenge. And out comes Paul Heyman basically saying, you're a disgrace to your kids and whatnot. And then out comes Stephanie McMahon. I'm thinking, wow, what a MILF, because damn, she looks fine. Her and Trish looks fine, and Lita too, but, like, damn, she's just, woo, like fine wine. Okay, so then you had Stephanie basically say, oh, you don't say this, how dare you talk about my children this way, and I kid you not, like a minute later, Paul Heyman says, alright, you want a match, you got Brock Lesnar. So you're telling me that Triple H, after all these months, is trying to get this match with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's like, no. Stephanie goes in there, has a minute conversation with him, okay, you get your freaking Brock Lesnar. Well, we all know who wears the pants in that household between Triple H and Stephanie. Okay, so then you have, Brock coming out, and Brock and Gotta have their little fights, and you know they brawl, and you know that was kind of funny too how they censored "fuck off" that Brock Lesnar was saying when he threw his T-shirt, whatever. But you know, okay, real quick about this, guys. If they're having an actual match like Brock Lesnar versus Triple H, you know the old Brock Lesnar, 2002. You guys know what I mean, the wrestling Brock Lesnar versus Triple H. That's what I want to see. That I would love to see. But not freaking Extreme Rules Brock Lesnar, aka MMA gimmick Brock Lesnar, coming out there doing a Kimura and all these different submissions and whatnot, and it's just going to be like, oh, the Lord have mercy. He got a new shirt too. A lot of people got new shirts. Lesnar, DX, Rock, a lot of new shirts tonight. And then we have, what else we have? Okay, then you had Heath Slater, okay? Yeah, Heath Slater come out there. You also have Santino Hornswoggle, but, you know, Heath Slater's doing a challenge, no DQ, no countout for any legend. Music hits, and out comes good old Lita. And I'm thinking, damn, CM Punk, I envy you, because Lita looked great tonight. Damn, I don't remember when last time she looked that good. But, you know, she comes out and she says, well, don't worry, Heath, you know, I got a little protection with me. I'm like, no. Out comes JBL, Ron Simmons, a.k.a. the APA. I thought it was cool. Heath Slater's trying to run like a bat out of hell. And then out comes the legends, you know, What a Rush, you know, Road Animal, you know, Vader, DDP, Rikishi, you know, all these legends trying to bring them back into the ring, you know, and they did, and, you know, next thing you know, clothesline from hell, twist of fate, and a moonsault by Lita, 1, 2, 3, Lita wins. Howard Finkel was also the guest ring announcer, but that was pretty cool seeing the Fink. And of course, you can't have APA without Ron Simmons saying this one word. Damn! So yeah, and then you come out with, so that was pretty cool. And then you have Zack Ryder saying that Mean Gene Okerlund, you know, who he's right next to, was behind the whole GT. I'm like, wow, GT, I haven't heard that in forever. And then, you know, he's talking to John Cena, and then The Rock comes by and interrupts him basically and saying, you know, I'm wishing the best of luck and whatever, and Cena's like, I'm going to cash it in, and then Rock just looks by, nods his head, and says, and he still wishes him the best of luck, and I'm thinking, and the funny part was because they're like, oh, it's been a long time. I didn't know 3 to 4 months ago was that long. Like, you're making it seem like it's been, like, 12 years. Like, really. But, you know, I understand, you know. And then Kane comes out, and I'm thinking, okay, Kane, you know, Kane's been a big part of Monday Night Raw, so it makes sense. And then out comes Jinder Mahal, Tyler Rex, Hawkins, Camacho, Hunico, and Drew McIntyre. I'm thinking, what the heck is going to be, like a 6-on-1 beating? And then, dong, that's right, The Undertaker comes out, the Brothers of Destruction raise hell. And, you know, it's just cool to see Undertaker and Kane together. You know, it's been a while since we've seen Taker, you know. So, you know, just cool to see the Brothers of Destruction together. And then you had, excuse me, you had Charlie Sheen on Skype again, you know, basically, you know, talking about how loser, you know, Daniel Bryan is. And then, you know, Daniel Bryan's like, he's had a bad night, he's been stood up, he got assaulted by The Rock, and how he can't stand Charlie Sheen. And then they're like, oh, what if Daniel Bryan faced Charlie Sheen at SummerSlam? Winning versus, yes, that should, yeah. Okay, so then hey, it's in LA. Then you have the main event, John Cena versus CM Punk. Pretty good match, you know. I thought that, you know, so I was thinking, how long can this match go? Because at the time, you know, how long is it going? So then you have, you know, Cena hitting the Attitude Adjustment. The referee got knocked out. So, you know, Cena's waiting. Big Show comes out, knocks Cena out with the weapon of mass destruction. Punk brings the referee in. He's all confused. Like, should I cover him? Should I not? What's going on? You know, what should I do? You know, and then he tries to pin Cena. Cena kicks out. Cena hits the, Punk's trying to hit the GTS. Cena reverses, hits the STF. Big Show interferes again, and disqualification, you know, tries beating up on John Cena. Then The Rock, and Punk does, this is an interesting part, Punk does nothing. He just sits there, and just looking back, and, you know, kind of walks away a bit. Out comes The Rock. Rock starts beating up on Big Show, getting ready to hit the people's elbow. Punk comes out of nowhere, literally, hits him with the freaking clothesline, then hits him with the GTS, thus leading, you know, heel turn for CM Punk. And it's interesting, you know. Seems like WWE might be thinking of Punk versus Cena versus Big Show, and maybe have The Rock as a special guest referee. That'd be interesting in itself, the WWE Championship. And, you know, you know, with Punk being heel, obviously they're not going to make Cena heel, so obviously they got to make Punk look like the heel, and Punk was a pretty good heel, I thought. You know, I wasn't a huge fan of Punk being face, that's just me. You know, I've always been a fan of Punk heel, but, you know, I still appreciate what he's done in the ring and whatnot, so I enjoyed Monday Night Raw. I kind of wish there was a Ric Flair, maybe Batista, Stone Cold Steve Austin sighting tonight. We didn't get that. I was kind of bummed out on that, but still, overall, Monday Night Raw, you know, 3 hours. Obviously, this is going to be it every single week, but, you know, they did pretty good tonight. So what do you guys think? Good Monday Night Raw. Did you guys enjoy it? I enjoyed it. Peace out, guys.